The Local 3 Storm Alert Team issues a Storm Alert Weather Day, giving you early warning to keep your family safe. Count on us to keep you constantly updated online, on air, and on the Local 3 Weather app. Download it today.
A few weeks ago on the show, we had a chance to come over to Scenic City Wine in St. Elmo and pay a visit with Matt Olson. We fell so in love with it that we kind of feel like old friends now. So we're back this morning. I already have a drink in my hand. Cheers.
Huzzah.
Here's to the nice warm weather that's finally headed our way.
Yeah, and can we just stick with warm? Like, I don't want to make that switch to hot yet.
Well, if you've got that kind of power, we'll talk about a future career in politics for you.
If I did, I'd be making a lot more money than I am selling fine wine to people.
Okay, but the weather is a relevant point.
It's absolutely.
When it comes to wine drinking, because a lot of us will go with a red wine in the wintertime. You want heavy, hearty. You want light.
Yeah, and this is why I put all these rosés on the table today. I mean, you know, rosés have gotten very popular in the last few years, and with good reason. And these are all, made by hand rosés, right? Yeah. Rosé is fundamentally red grapes that are being made in a white wine style. So you're going to harvest the fruit earlier, you're going to crush it, you're going to let it sit on the skins for maybe a couple of hours, if at all, and you're going to get these really super faint, well, you see the range of colors from, almost like a yellow orange to really a ruby, dense sort of ruby color, and all of these are going to, technically be rosé, because you get the color from the skins. So if you get a little bit of time on the skins, you get a little bit of color. And if you get a lot of time on the skins, you get a lot of color.
So I have told viewers before over the years, I think I have 3 older brothers, the youngest of whom lives part of his year in Atlanta, Vermont, and France. He kind of has this little triangle thing. So he's my wine snob. He can't see this, so I can talk about him. But he would be very quick to point out the fact that the wine is the aesthetic experience, and the color matters so much.
It does.
A rosé, however, if someone's watching, they can pair that with chicken on the grill, seafood, a hamburger.
Rosé is arguably the most versatile food pairing wine. And while it'll absolutely pair with everything that you just mentioned, it'll also pair with what you might think of as exotic spices. I mean, there's a whole range of spices that people have gotten a lot more comfortable with in the last few years that are very difficult to pair with. I mean, I'm talking about things like coriander and cumin and cardamom and saffron, challenging to pair with. Rosés are better at pairing with those types of spices. And I mean, it used to be you only got those spices if you went to a restaurant. I mean, now, you can buy those spices off the shelf in pretty much any grocery store in the greater Chattanooga area. And, with the rise of food media and food TV, people are a lot more adventurous with their, so that chicken on the grill might have a Jamaican jerk rub on it, right? That hamburger might actually be like a lamb burger with za'atar on it, and so rosés are going to pair with those strong spices better than a lot of wines are.
So while you can get your McCormick spice at the grocery store, the wines are very different.
Sure.
In case you didn't see it when we were here last time, Matt's whole purpose is he has this long-standing career in the wine business, and the store now is kind of that culmination of everything coming together. All you sell is wine. You love to work with people for their particular need. You don't bring your literal taste into it. It's all about theirs.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly have preferences, but I'm very proud of the stylistic range that we have here in the store. I mean, there's, roughly 500 wines in the store, and we're hitting every single key on the piano stylistically. So if you want big and dense and concentrated and extracted reds, I've got that. If you want really sort of ethereal, perfumey, light-bodied aromatic whites with, lively acidity, I've got that too. And I've got everything in between.
And maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know what your particular preference is. Even though his store is boutique, the price points aren't. I mean, for as little as $10, you can get a great bottle of wine.
I drink wine every day, and I've been very fortunate in my life to be able to try the world's finest wine, sometimes multiple times. Usually when other people were paying for it. So
that's a good gig.
As far as it is a good gig if you can get it. But as far as the wines that I drink every day, I mean, I have an everyday price point too. And so I very much conceptually wanted to make sure that I had a store that I could shop in.
Yeah.
And wanted to shop in on a daily basis. And I'm I'm proudest of the fact that I do have repeat customers, and I do have people coming in who are telling me that their neighbors and their friends and their family members and their bosses and their coworkers told them about the store, and that the prices are fair, and that I do know what I'm talking about, and that's all very validating for me.
Yeah. So sometimes our best conversations can happen off camera, and we had a moment like that to me a little bit ago, because Matt said that one question he gets asked repeatedly and he can never answer it is, what's your favorite wine?
It's a completely unanswerable question, because so much of it is dependent on the circumstances. And so, like, for the rest of my life, I'm going to remember this Louis de Grenelle Corral Rosé Brut, because it's going to be forever associated with this conversation.
Isn't that fun? Cheers.
To that.
And this one you said?
My wife and I shared a bottle of this on vacation a few weeks ago, and even looking at the label, I can hear the ocean and hear the birds and smell it. It's all, so, I mean, I have had wonderful experiences with bottles of wine, but I can't necessarily say that that's replicable. I mean, I drank Grand Cru Burgundy out of a red Solo cup in my backyard in the month of November, and it was cold, and there was a fire pit, and in no universe are you supposed to drink Grand Cru Burgundy out of a red Solo cup, but I did, and it was delicious, and I don't regret it at all.
And you've admitted your sin now on TV. So I think that that's also worth pointing out, because for some people, wine is a special occasion drink. For not everyone has it every day. So if it's a special occasion, don't you want to treat yourself to the best you can get?
Well, sure.
And that doesn't have to mean most expensive. It just means you don't want to take a chance. You don't want to buy something that you might not like afterwards. Right. And by the way, something we did not mention before last time we were here, Saturdays you do taste testings.
I do tastings on Saturdays. It's the reality of the situation is that these are all very small producers. These are not the kinds of producers that have marketing budgets. They don't have Super Bowl commercials, okay? They rely on people like me to promote them. And so you walk into this store, I hear it every day. Wow, I don't recognize any of this. Wow, you have a lot of wines I've never seen before, which I take as a compliment, for the record.
Yeah.
And, that's great, but the flip side of that is, people who are comfortable with brands that they know can feel a little bit lost. And so having the opportunity to try wines that they've never had before is very important. And so, we open up wines for people to have the opportunity to experience them, and then hopefully they buy a bottle or more and take it home and enjoy it and share it with people. And because wine very frequently does get shared. If you're not an everyday wine drinker, you're probably coming in here and buying a bottle so that you can take it to a party or a dinner party or family dinner or something like that. And I'm always very pleased when people come in and say, I went over to my friend's house for dinner and she had this and it was awesome. And she said she got it here. Those are incredibly gratifying conversations where it comes full circle, where it's like you had the experience. I never get to see the wines in the wild, if you will, right? Like I sort of sell the bottle and then it walks out the door and I'm not there when it gets consumed.
You don't get to see the ripple.
And so when I hear about that coming back around, that's really gratifying.
Well, you come pick the wine. That'll be your moment in time. And am I pronouncing this right? Louis de Grenelle?
Correct.
All right. I'll also ever remember this moment.
Cheers.
Cheers. You will find him Tuesday through Sunday at Scenic City Wine in St. Elmo. The website, you can place an order and then come pick it up.
Yep, scenicitywine.com.
And come do a tasting. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling easy and more affordable for everyone. Hey everybody, I'm joined by Kirsten Page from West Shore to find out exactly how they're making that happen. Kirsten.
So Joe, we've been able to give homeowners, over 165,000 of them, the shower and bath